Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. This is Divine Intuition. Today, Spirit, I heard just choices. I wasn't sure if I was even gonna record today, but I kept hearing it. And there's value in it. So Spirit said I'm talking about choices, so that's what I'm doing is I'm talking about choices. And how do you want me to do this, Spirit? Everything is up to you. Every single choice that you made, every single choice that you're making, every single choice that you're going to make has an equal and opposite reaction, good or bad. If you're choosing to be negative, to say negative words in your day, if you're choosing just to be mindful, there are actions that come from these choices that you make, good or bad. If you're choosing to have a positive outlook on the day, say positive things, just smile, there's going to be reactions. The choices that you make dictate the next actions that are going to happen, the reactions that you're going to get, both in this world and in the spirit world. Every choice that you make, your intuition is telling you something. Whether you're hearing it or not depends on the situation, depends on the person, depends on whether you've chosen to listen or not. We all hear that voice. A lot of people are familiar with Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket, and that's his conscience, and he lied and his nose grew. Same idea, but a little bit different. Your nose, of course, doesn't grow when you lie, or does it? I'll let you think about that. But everything that you do, there's always something. There's always going to be, honestly, a voice, if you listen hard enough, that's going to be like, cool. That's going to be moving with you. That's going to be like, oh, this isn't a good idea. This is not a good idea. And there's going to be the voice that's going to say, okay, let's see what's going to happen here. The universe already knows what you're going to do. The universe knows what it needs for you to do, what it wants for you to do. But there's that free will that you get to choose what you want to do. And when you make that choice, you can't be mad at the reactions that you get. If you have a shitty attitude if you're not grateful, if you don't find any kind of joy in the day at all the time, like this is your all the time, you're negative all the time, you're frowning all the time, you are making that choice. You are making that choice. Okay? You're making the choice to stay that way because it's all a mind frame. You have to realize that you are in control of your choices. And Spirit is going to back you no matter what choice you make. Because Spirit is always going to move with you. Like, for example, you want to lose weight. You have chosen to lose weight. But you're not eating the right foods. You're not working out. You just have chosen to lose weight. What's going to happen is you're not going to lose weight. Just because you choose to do something doesn't mean that what you're choosing is going to happen. Because, as in this example, it requires effort. It requires effort. See, everything that you do, no matter what it is that you do, requires some bit of effort. Even if it's to do nothing. It requires effort for you to do nothing because your spirit wants you to do something. Anything. Find a hobby. Uplift a friend. Uplift a family member. Do something in your community that's positive. You know? Smile at your job today. Bless somebody. Give that homeless person $1. Work out even when you don't want to. Because in each of these choices that you make, there are consequences. There are results, good and bad. But the choices that you make the right choice, am I saying this right? How do you want me to say this, Spirit? The choices that you make dictate your life. And they dictate your spiritual life. And it makes a difference on your journey. Everybody doesn't make great choices all the time. That is also part of the plan because you have to learn. You have to make mistakes. You have to learn. Is it you have to learn or you have to remember? See, being ethereal beings, we are just in this beautiful meat suit. We are just here having a human experience. What you're experiencing now, and I want this to sink in with you, what you are experiencing now is not your forever. What you have experienced in the past is not your forever. It's all about the choices that you make. It all starts in the mind. It all starts there. When you don't make rash choices, because those are usually the ones that were like, ooh, I should not have done that. There was also some on the inside that told you not to do that too. You chose to go to an event or to a party or to someone's house or whatever, and there was an argument or a fight or just something popped off, the cops came, shoot out, whatever. You made the choice to go, but there was something in you that said you don't need to go to this. You probably shouldn't go to this. But we feel obligated to our friends, to our family, because we said, you know what? I already said that I'm going to this event. I already said that, So despite the trepidation that I'm feeling, despite the hesitation that I'm feeling, I'm going to go anyway. And then as soon as something happens, the first thing you say is, I knew it. I knew it. I felt it. I knew something was going to be off. That's something that you felt, that you knew that it was going to be off. That's a feeling that now it's lost in a lot in this world of 2024. A lot of in this world that's right now. There's so much AI. People are glued. God, and it's sickening. People are glued to their fucking phones. You don't have time, and you haven't allowed yourself to listen to your intuition, because now you've programmed yourself so your intuition is your phone. Your intuition is this device that man has made for you to program you, and you're letting it program you. Sitting all day in front of the television, this little handheld device that is your television, watching it, glued to it. Do you know that you can listen to something and it be playing in the background, and although you don't hear it, it still seep into your subconscious? And it doesn't matter what you're watching or listening to. It doesn't matter. How is that true? How do I know that to be true? You know how you know commercials, all the words to commercials, and you don't even remember watching the commercial. It's the fact that the commercial has come on the radio, on YouTube if you don't have premium, on Spotify if you don't have the premium. The commercials will come on. And you're so accustomed to hearing the commercial that when you start hearing it come on, you can know the commercial word for word. Why is that? Your subconscious tuned into that. Your subconscious. I had a phone call from my boo and got interrupted. Where was I at? I know I was talking about choices. And how the choices that you make every day, they, good or bad, there's actions, there's reactions to these. Perfect example is what just happened. I didn't know I was going to be recording, because right now it's not super early. It just turned 7:00 where I am. I was in my meditation space. I was led to record. Spirit kept giving me choices. I chose at that moment to start recording. Knowing or not knowing for sure, I knew my boo had left to go to work. I made the choice to start recording. He called in the middle of the recording and I lost my thought. I lost where I was going. because I made the choice to answer the phone. I could have just sent them to voicemail. It's a perfect example. Now, what are you telling me right now? When you are thinking about doing something, when something is sitting on you, when you're making your decisions, a lot of people don't choose to ask their inner self what kind of decisions. Not what kind of decision, but if the decision is the right one. Like, everything that you do, there's a fork in the road. Same with your choice, there's a fork in the road. You can choose to, you can choose not to. Each choice that you make is a step along your journey. It's just a matter of what step, what direction are you going in. Your intuition is that thing that when you sit in silence, your intuition is that thing inside of you that's reason. Is that how I want to say this, Spirit? Spirit and intuition is never going to steer you wrong. Okay? But it's your own will put in it, and the choices that you make in the choice that make it go that way. You can't blame somebody else because you've made a bad decision. I knew I shouldn't have came over here. It's always like this. Hold on. Not only have you made the choice to come over here, you've also made the choice not to fix the issue that keeps coming up as to why you're going over there. If it's a fixable issue, if you sit down and you talk to yourself, you'll have different choices and different options come up. And that's just the thing. There's always options. It's never just, you have options. It's never just, this is what it is. I lied. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. There are going to be times that it's like, this is what it is. My apologies for lying, but there are going to be times when Spirit's like, this is what it is. This is what it is. If you make this choice, this is what's going to happen. Period. There's no gray area. It's white or it's black. There's no gray area. But living so much in that gray area is what causes turbulence. It's what causes stagnation. It's what causes you to be unhappy. Like, there are people that love drama. I mean, they love drama. They're choosing to love drama and to stir up shit. They are literally choosing to make people's lives miserable. Understand and listen to what I just said. These people that are stirring up drama have chosen to make other people's lives miserable because it makes them happy. Think about that. And that's the choice that either someone else that made. Hell, that might be even the choice that you've made. What are the consequences of this? Spirit understands what you're doing. And if you're not moving right, Spirit is going to make sure that you know. If you have become prosperous through ill-gotten gains and you're not doing anything, your intention wasn't positive, you did something negative, your outcome is negative, and you're good with that. You were good with that. You knew it was going to be this, and you're totally good with that. Understand, your spirit acknowledges what you've done. But you've also chosen a path that Spirit has to now walk you down. And that path has resistance. That path has something called karma. Karma reigns on the good and the bad alike. Everything that you do has an action to it. What is it you want me to say? Okay. This is a good example. Okay. What Spirit just gave me, when you hear a little bit of silence, it's because I'm listening. And if you've ever sat with me and you've talked with me, and it looks like, and I do it, and I don't care. I can't help it. Spirit is talking to me. That's the best message. That's what I need to hear. I'll be talking to people, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm not lost in space, but it looks like I'm listening to something that can't nobody else hear. I've had to come a long way in my choices to come a long way in my growth, to come a long way in my journey. I had to choose to leave my environment. I had to choose to change my friends. And that's one of those things, lessons and messages. Everything you go through, every choice you make, there is And some of them, even though it feels right and it's a bad outcome, there was a lesson in that for you. There is a message in that for you. We never just go through anything in life by random. The choices we made, the choices we make, the choices we're going to make, each have a reaction, there's a message, and there's a lesson in everything. The message could be you just made the wrong choice. It literally could be you just made the wrong choice. Or it could be you need to find, like, if something, not the example I want to use. I'm obedient. The example Spirit has given me to tell you. Choices. When my mom died, my brother, I lived in Raleigh at the time that my mother died. It's about an hour and a half from where my mom and my brother were living in Moore County. When my brother called the first time, I didn't answer. He called the second time. I answered. I almost did not answer. He called me and he told me he was bawling. He was crying. Mom was screaming for him, saying that she couldn't feel her arms and her legs. It was, sit with me, sit with me. The time that it was between the first call and the second call was about 15 minutes. I chose not to answer the first call. Okay. Because I'm like, he's calling to ask me for money. He's calling to complain about something. And not that I even talk to my brother every day or all the time. It's just that was his pattern. May he rest in power. But he was a negative spirit. He was negative. So I thought he was calling me, to complain, about Mom, to complain about something. And then 15 minutes later, when he called back, I answered the phone because that's not like him to call twice like that. When I answered the phone and he told me Mom said she couldn't feel her arms or legs, I immediately jumped up and was like, I need to go. En route. And when he told me, like at first I was like, I need to go. What am I supposed to do? What do I need to take with me to go? I need to go. And I'm starting to think I need to pack a bag. I'm gonna be gone for a couple days. It took me about 30 minutes to leave where I was at. So we've got the 15 minutes after the first call that I chose not to pick up. And then we've got the 30 minutes from the second call to when I left, because I had chose I was gonna pack a bag. I was choosing to pack a bag. It was when I got in the car and started driving, and I was about 30 minutes out. And I felt her spirit pass. I saw the white, and I saw it. How can I, spirit, why am I doing this? I knew the moment she died because I saw her spirit leave this realm. I was literally about 30 minutes, 30 to 35, maybe 40 minutes. Now, the fact that my brother was calling so late was already, I looked at my phone funny. Why are you calling so late? I'm not about, what's this about? But I didn't answer it. But the fact that I said, why are you calling so late? That was my intuition telling me something was wrong, but I didn't pay attention to it. I spent some time telling myself that I should have been there. You know, my brother shouldn't have had to gone through that by himself. That I shouldn't have moved to Raleigh. I should have been there. And at the last moments, I could have been there. But I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Because of the choices that I had made, not following my intuition, I wasn't one of the last person that my mother saw. And what happened to her happened suddenly. It wasn't like it was a gradual thing going. It was, but it wasn't. Like we didn't know until she died that her aortic valve had burst. We didn't know that. It's because her blood pressure had gotten too high. She wasn't taking any medicine. Her aortic valve burst. And when she said that she couldn't feel her arms or legs, it was already too late. This is what the doctor said. When I went and when I finally get there, he said, when she said that she could not feel her arms and legs, it was already too late. And because of my choices, I wasn't there. I wasn't there those last few moments when I could have been. I could have been. Some heavy shit. And it doesn't always have to be that extreme, that severe. But that is the example Spirit gave me to give you. I didn't even know that that was going to happen today. I am obedient to Spirit. Because I do not talk about it. That is a choice that I have made. Because I felt like I could have been there in her last moments. And remember, I said there's a lesson, there's a message in every choice that you make. In the consequences of every choice that you make, there's a message, there's a lesson, there's a blessing. It can be one, two, or all three. I've chosen to recognize my fault in that situation. I had to. Because I was beating myself up. Like, fast forward, me living the message, let me rewind, the message, the lesson, the blessing. What we know in this life is short. It is short, but it is long. The decisions, the choices that you make today, right now, are the choices that can teach you something in the future. I learned the the importance of forgiveness. And learning to forgive those closest to you before there's no chance to forgive them while they're alive. And like I said before, forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. Forgiveness is for you. You want to be able to find a sense of peace being around this person. You don't want anyone to leave and depart from this world who you love without telling them one last time that you love them, because the last time you talked to them, y'all were arguing and you said you hate that son of a bitch. When that's not really how you feel. When you say stuff out of anger, you're not saying something straight out of anger. You're saying something that you feel deep down, and you need to deal with that. It's a choice. What you say in anger is a choice. What you say last to someone is a choice. You don't always have to have the last word, but the last word that you have, you need to make sure you make it mean something. It's a choice. I chose to understand and not relate more, but be more in depth with my family, because one side of my family, just as far as I can remember, it's just been, it's not very loving, not very, there's us cousins have never really been together. I've like on holidays, we're all not there. We'll just show up and eat and then leave. Like it's odd, considering that because that's my mom's side of the family. My dad's side of the family, loving. I mean, hugs, loving. You all right? When we come around, we're gonna stay for a little while. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk to you, if not all the time, sometime to check on you. We're gonna send you a text every now and then. I've got both halves of that. And see, I had to learn when my mom died that half of the family, that had to go. I can't be like that. Me choosing to be more involved with my immediate family, because then at that point it was my brother, my dad, and my stepmom. I chose to be more involved, but my personality, I'm an introvert. I have no problem with being alone. It doesn't bother me at all. But I think a lot. I read a lot, I think a lot, and I write. I'll draw. I'll do something creative. But I learned that my choice of having negative thoughts on why my brother was calling so late
The negative thoughts on why I thought my brother was calling was overriding the fact that my intuition was telling me the alarm was going off because he was calling me so late. It let me know, especially when I saw her spirit leave, when I saw her soul leave this plane. I'm literally driving down Highway 1, US 1, and I see her in a white mist literally ascend from the road in front of me up. And then the very next call, like I saw it, and then half a second later, well, not half a second later, but about maybe 15, 20 seconds later, my phone rang, and it was my brother telling me that mom had died while I was en route. I had to learn the power of forgiveness, because then I didn't understand forgiveness was for yourself. Like I'm talking, this was like 2009, maybe? Yeah, about around then. I had to learn so much, because out of all the relationships with my family, the one with her was the most tumultuous. Maybe that's a story for another time, but right now that's mine. And I had to choose to grow in that situation. I had to make the choice of whether I wanted to keep being just nonchalant about my family, about my folks, or if I wanted to actually do like I wanted to do and care. There was a blessing in that. There was a lesson in that. There was a message in that. And all of that I had to grow into, I had to learn, I had to understand. Because it prepared me. It showed me that it showed me. I was prompted more to listen to things that my mom would tell me, or that she had told me in the midst of all the tumultuousness. Like she told me once, we're a very magical family, Shay. We're magical. I asked her about her telling me that one time, and she couldn't remember. But I remember when she told me that, she had this look about her. I remember it just like she told me this, and she was standing going from her room like she was going into the kitchen of the house we were at. And I was standing in the living room about to go outside, and she was like, Shay, do you know that we're a magical family? Our family is magical. And I looked at her because I had never seen her like that. I never heard that from her. I never thought about her saying that, her telling me that, until she wasn't here to tell me that. I learned that a lot of the things she was teaching me in the only way she knew how to teach me. But some things she had to teach me how she taught me, because that was the only way I could learn and grow. Because at a young age, I was very aware, very observant. The choices you make are always preparing you for something. They're going to lead you somewhere. There's going to be consequences, repercussions, and actions from every decision that you make. What are you choosing? What are you choosing? I'm looking at the time on this thing, at this recording. I did not realize that it was going to be so long. And if you have made it all the way to this point, I thank you. From my heart, I thank you. Because I move in spirit. And what you have heard today is what Spirit is led for me to tell you in real time. Thank you for following. Thank you for listening. This is Divine Intuition. Peace.